Sharia law means the end of the Second Amendment. That's not speculation, that's history. But Sharia law just means praying 5 times a day, something that you may have heard if you've caught wind of some of the propaganda being put out and increasingly platformed, even by people who identify as conservative or as Christian, but that's not what Sharia is. Sharia is Islamic law. For Muslims, that does mean things like praying 5 times a day. For Christians, it's something very different. Under Sharia law, the Christians who have been humbled and who are submitting to Islam, you can see this in Surah chapter 9, verse 29, are called Dhimmis. Now, Muslims will say, oh, Dhimmis just means protected person. We're just protecting our Christian friends. But what that actually means is second-class citizen, because Dhimmis are prohibited the right to keep and bear arms. This is the case all the way from the beginning. Umar, in the 7th century, one of the companions of Muhammad, in the Pact of Umar, said that Dhimmis were not allowed to hang swords on the saddles of their horses, or to collect weapons of any kind, or to carry those weapons. That means that they prohibited this, and given they're talking about weapons of any kind, that means that they're prohibiting this. Now, this is just a BB one. But given the fact that the American consul in Algeria reported that dhimmis were prohibited not just from carrying swords, but even canes, I'm pretty sure BBs are out too. And you can see the devastating consequences of this. In the 1860s in Serbia, a country which had been conquered by Islam, Christians were banned from keeping and bearing arms. In the 1860s in Serbia were like the 1860s here, like the Wild West but worse, brigands, gangs of bandits. And they were actively preying on the people who could not defend themselves because they were holding to their Christian faith, and so their Muslim overlords would not give them the means to defend themselves, would not allow them to even. They were driven out, they were hassled, they were killed, or forced to convert to Islam just to keep their family safe. It was a horrible situation. And if you're hearing people say, Muslims say, no, we're not, that's different, that was the past, we're not going to disarm you, treat that with exactly the same grain of salt as you get from a politician who says, oh, I love hunting, I respect the Second Amendment. You know exactly what they're going to do once they're in power. So many people today, Christians and conservatives, think that Islam is an ally of us because, oh, they're traditional, they're just like us, we can agree with them. Ask yourself how that actually plays out. Look at a city like London, which has a huge Muslim population. They elected a Muslim mayor. They have a Muslim mayor for a decade. Are they traditional now? No, they have tons of pride parades. What do they have in addition to pride parades? The fact that you can be arrested for criticizing Islam. Now look, London was already disarmed. We're not disarmed, and God willing, we never will be. But importing Sharia law is going to mean the end of the Second Amendment if it's actually put in place. And when they say it's not going to be put in place, again, treat that as exactly the same amount of skepticism that you would of a politician who says the same. The American Constitution is absolutely incompatible with Sharia law, and Christianity is absolutely incompatible with Islam. We cannot make allowance for this. We cannot make excuse for this. We cannot make allies with those who hate us, hate our way of life, and hate our God. If you want to know more about this, if you want to see more on the verses in the Quran that talk about this, you want to see all the sources cited, we have a longer version of this video. All you need to know, all that you should know, and I think you know instinctively, is that Sharia law is not for us, and we must stand against it. Thank you, and God bless.